coming down to Daytona to run the Permadex Sportsman race. And we got everything together, and we had to scrounge all our resources, and I got 3 guys to help me out that just to come down and work for me for free. And it worked out pretty well. We had after we sent and paid the hotel, prepaid the hotel room and everything, I think we had $650 to come down here on expense money. And we came down. Excuse me. You just want to do that. We came down and had a great time. We waxed the car a lot and practiced, qualified. I think we qualified, I don't know, 20. I don't know. You'd have to look and see in the record books. I don't know where I qualified, 20-something, maybe. We waxed the car all week. Didn't do anything. And had a great time, but when we drove in down here, I was driving a 1-ton truck, pulling the trailer and the race car on it, and all our stuff was stowed in the back of this open truck, and it was my dad's old truck. But we drove off of 92, and here's all this grandstand, which a lot of that stuff wasn't built out on the highway now, the restaurants and things, and you can see the grandstand from a great distance away before. And we got to it, and you're driving along, and you just keep driving along, and you go through 1 light, 2 lights, and another light, and you're still driving by the speedway, and you're not by it yet. It's pretty damn amazing just from the outside. From a kid, it's just seen half miles and 3/4 miles, and quarter miles. So when we finally got, went down, checked in, found a hotel and all that, and come back to the track the next day and drove in, and which they had us parked out in the back there inspecting, and you walk up and you look over, and then of course I had to come up and get a physical, and drove in, and it was just, gosh, what is this? All these big turns. And, you know it's Daytona, but you can't imagine it being that big. So it was a pretty interesting and exciting and intimidating and about everything you could say about it, when you first came into the place and seen it. First went out to practice, it was, it was like, where did I run on this thing? Up, high, low, you just could run about anywhere you wanted to because you go flat out. And then I think I qualified in 176 mile an hour range, I'm not sure. And maybe 173, 176, 176 sounds familiar. But, never knew at that point, though, I liked it. And when I got into the race and started racing, I really liked it. And I really enjoyed it. And so every time I came back, I enjoyed it more, and I learned more, and I understood it more, and I understood what it all was about, and I liked it more, Mm-hmm. And fortunately, I've done real well here at Daytona.
Well, that was my next question.
It's been sort of like a home track to me. Because I come here, it's the first race of the year. You come here to test through the winter, and you spend really more time here than you do at any other track. And it's like I'm very comfortable when I come here. I've had some great wins, great experiences. I've had some tragic experiences, losing Neil and seeing friends. As an old guy that was running an ARCA race that had a safety clean business in Charlotte, North Carolina. That I can't even remember his name now, but he's a sort of an overweight guy. But he got killed one year down here in practice, and it sort of those kind of things stick in your mind about it, but. Still, it didn't take the mystique of the racetrack or the town or the whole atmosphere of Daytona and the speed weeks and the excitement of it all away. I've had some bad crashes here, and still, it's the racetrack I would choose to go race at any given day. They've modified the rules over the years, and the cars have changed, and restrictor plate racing and, all that stuff, but it's still the race and the racetrack that I enjoy racing on the most. I Daytona 500 eluded me for 20 years. Have all the wins I did prior to that race and not win that race was really amazing in itself to me. I mean, because I think we had a dominant car number of races. But it's still, I think Daytona, being a winner at Daytona, being successful at Daytona does push your status up in this sport. But then there's some guys that just won one race and it's been Daytona. Yeah. And it's tough to understand it, but it's a unique town and unique place, and I've seen it when it was the airport, the beach, and everything was just thriving, and just the greatest thing ever went to where it's died back, and and it sort of found its niche, and it's I think it's starting to come back now as a beach town, a resort town. It's had its hard knocks, but it's a great place to come to, Daytona. I mean, the track, the town, the restaurants, they change a little, but still, I enjoy it. I look forward to it. Again, I think it was because of all the defeats and everything that happened to me up to that point, trying to win the Daytona 500. And the track being so good to me in other ways and winning other races here. Finally, to win that Daytona 500, it was just it's a great feeling. I mean, you can write all you want to write about it, and you're still not going to write everything the way you felt. Right. I mean, all the good feelings, all the pride, all the excitement. And then also what really, I think, give it that little extra touch was when I came on pit road and all them crews and owners and everybody was out on that pit road congratulating me. I mean, that was an exciting moment for me in my life, and something that I'll remember that forever. I mean, we race against all these guys and compete, and to see all of them coming out and congratulating somebody like that. I mean, they congratulate guys when they win races, but that was pretty overwhelming to me. There was just a mass of people. Pretty overwhelming. Now, was a major achievement to, when you overtake them? If I overtake them. If you overtake them? It's an accomplishment in racing. It's an accomplishment in your life. I'm not focusing on it, but it is an accomplishment that you're working toward. And to see Terry not drive or not being, he didn't drive and lost that streak, I felt for him because, Terry and I started out and we've raced and we've had trouble with each other, racing each other, and we raced great with each other, and we went hunting together, and we went fishing together, and we've done a lot of things. And I respect the guy so much, and I really felt for him not to be in the car and have to give that up, because we all have marks and achievements or goals or whatever that we accomplish in life and in this sport that are unique. So that's a unique one. Now, whether I can ever get there, and once I get there, he's going to be right behind me to knock me off once I stop. Right. And because I'm telling you, longevity in this sport is longer than most sports if you stay on top of your game. And so, that's something that's important to me. But for us to be out here and say, I'm going for this goal, I'm racing and I'm hoping that goal will come to me. I drove the car when I was hurt, and probably should have not drove the car at Watkins Glen. Should have got out of the car. I don't even know if I should have qualified the car. When a driver's hurt, I don't know what the boundaries are, or how you would say, well, this driver's safe and healthy enough to drive the race car, this driver's not safe or healthy enough to drive the race car. I'm a very focused and very determined person when it comes to my job of racing. And I go past the limits sometimes that maybe should be set, or I go past the limits of other people. And I don't think I've ever really went past my limits. And I knew at Indy when I was hurt, and I qualified the car. I practiced the car, and I qualified the car. And I knew I couldn't drive that race. I knew I couldn't do it all day long. So I got out of the car, and it really was tough to get out of the car. I was emotionally upset about having to get out of the car, not because I hurt or anything, because I did not want to get out of the car. But I got to Watkins Glen, and I was still hurt. It was 2 weeks after the wreck, and I was still hurt, and still, aching, and couldn't move good as I needed to move in some ways. But once I was in the car and strapped in the car, I felt pretty good. I didn't feel real good when I qualified. I think I overdid it qualifying, but it was unique because I sat on the pole. But during the race, I was really, really comfortable. Comfortable with the car, comfortable with myself. And when they had the caution, and then something was telling me, you need to pit and get out of this car. Then something more of that competition, that competitive side of Dale Earnhardt, and the guy on the other side of the head was going, man, this thing's driving great. Man, you need to stay in here. Man, this is fun. You need to hang in there, man. This is all right. So I stayed in there, and it was. It ran great, and I ended up running fifth. I had a shot at winning the race, led by half the race. But when it's all over said and done, I got home that night and laid down. I paid for it the next 2-3 days. And I knew at that point, I said, well, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So, yeah, I played hurt. I drove with broke leg, drove with broke collarbone, drove with broke sternum. How far can you go, or how far is safe, or what should NASCAR have any guidelines on that? I